Before you click off the video, because it's about Creed, we all need to understand one thing, that Creed is a character. Yes, he's not a creep, nor is he a simp. He is a character created within this ever-expanding story to serve a purpose. In this video, I'm going to explain this purpose and why Creed fulfills his duty to the best of his ability. I'll also dispel some of the hate he gets just because of his association with Homura, and why that hate is without a creed. You see what I did there? It's unjustified and unwarranted, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Creed first appeared in episode 7 of the anime or chapter 13 of the manga, but before I go into his character, I need to define Creed's role in the story, so we can all be on the same page when we go through his appearances in the story, which aren't that many by the way. Creed is a character who I would label as a connective character. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, simply put, he's a character that's created for the sole purpose of joining or interlocking two different storylines into one. These types of characters exist in every story. For example, and a spoiler alert here for those of you who are still to watch One Piece, think of Thatch from the Whitebeard crew. He was created for the sole purpose of joining Blackbeard's storyline with Ace's storyline, thus connecting Blackbeard with Luffy. Now, that doesn't make a character bad, it's just that they were created for a purpose, and they serve that purpose. Now that I defined what Creed's purpose is in the story, the question is, what storylines does Creed connect together? And this, my dear friends, is the Justice and Elsie storyline together with the Eden Zero storyline. Now let's see if Creed has any character traits that are worth something. Creed, for the longest time, whenever he makes an appearance in the manga, he's always reacting to something or giving statistics to something. That all changes though in the Foresta arc when he finally makes his first step towards the conclusion of his storyline. And this is also the major point of contention in the community regarding his character. This is the point where specific groups in the community start hating on the poor guy just because of a single plush he had when seeing Homura for the first time.
Hello, TV-san. Hello, Lamp-san.
Oh, they fucking. What? They're just saying hi to each other.
How are you today? I'm doing well. How about you?
Oh, they fucking. Look at them sparks. They're just talking to each other.
TV-san, there is no one I trust more than you. I'm glad to hear it, Lamp-san. You're a very important person to me.
Oh, they fucking. Oh, they fucking.
That's probably what some Homura fanatics were thinking at the time. Now, I want to just make one thing clear. The source of all the hatred Creed gets is not from Homura fanatics. Some, yes, but most of the time, the hate comes from the inescapable shippers who exist in every community. And I have nothing against them. As long as they are having fun, so am I. However, there exists an evil faction within this group of people who will go to insane lengths to justify their ships. Sometimes I'll even attack characters and hate on them for just having a romantic moment that conflict with their fantasized ship. So enter Creed, the most unfortunate man to ever exist. While researching for this video, I saw some outrageous opinions that are so funny to me right now. But back to our topic. We now know where some of the Creed hate comes from. Let's talk about how this hate is unjustified. As I said before, Creed was created to link the Eden Zero crew with Justice and Elsie's storyline, because in a shonen battle manga you can't just explore a storyline without involving the main cast. That doesn't work. And it was apparent that Hiro wanted to tell the story of Justice and Elsie, so Creed was created. He was a man that fell in love with Homura at first sight because it was revealed later she reminded him of home, and that she's beautiful and all. Come on guys, it's Homura, we don't have to explain why she's the best girl. So Creed being captivated by her beauty is a given. In the first arc, the conclusion of his storyline was already decided. Now it's just a matter of connecting the dots in a cohesive and reasonable way. And yeah, there was a foreshadowing for this conclusion in the first arc. In chapter 112, Jesse's cover as a spy within Elsie's crew got compromised, which resulted in Elsie removing this little rat boy from the crew. He was sent to Justice's Angel Feather ship in a pod, which Creed informs Justice about. This here serves as a parallel to the conclusion of Creed's story. I know this could be hindsight at play, but still, it's a fun little detail. With that being said, are the feelings Creed harbors for Homura justified? Yes, because it was not an unreasonable thing. Him being in love with her makes perfect sense for his character. Now, even if it doesn't make sense, him having feelings for someone should not upset anyone because of one single thing, which is that this feeling he has was not forced upon him. It's just an organic thing that happened within the story. So seeing all the hate this poor guy gets because he is a simp and a creep is somewhat concerning. Now, yes, there is something unsettling about him having pictures of Homer on his phone. Still, he is respectful enough to not creep on her all the time. Now that we have addressed the source of hatred and how it is somewhat unjustified, let's move on to the final act of his character, which can be seen as something forced for some people, but I'll try to give a reason to justify everything. Creed's involvement in this war only serves to set up some future storylines. Now, Hiro has laid out everything in this arc for this to make sense. The very chaotic nature of this war has allowed Hiro to implement Creed into the mix as part of a detached force from the Interstellar Union Army to stop the old link system from being initiated by Mr. Savage himself, Shura. So him being in that fateful place when he met Homura makes perfect sense narratively. Now it's for the hardest part, connecting Homura with Creed. Creed's plight to form an alliance with Homura goes unanswered here, as it should, and I would like to point out a very important thing here. Homura was very much in line with her character throughout this interaction, which makes this even more digestible for the reader when that eventual bullet hits Creed. We know that Homura values her pride and chivalry above all else, not above her friends though. So when Creed says that he's from Oido and his real name gets revealed to Homura, which makes him a part of the shogunate that rules Oido, it makes perfect sense for Homura to act respectful towards her lord. It is a matter of respect for her. However, Creed revealed that he left Oido precisely because of this class system which propagates discrimination amongst the people. He wants to change that because through his journey, he realized the joy and meaning of freedom. So he wants to teach that to the people of Oido someday. Now, let's put aside our biases. That's a pretty good and respectful dream to strive for. In fact, this is one of the major themes of Eden Zero: freedom and societal acceptance of everyone from all walks of life. So Homura feeling empathetic does make sense, because regardless of how much pain her home planet caused her, she still has some sort of attachment to it. Otherwise, she would have thrown away all of the things that reminded her of Oido. Thus, an emotional connection is established, but it's just enough to connect them together. Not in a romantic way though. God no, not in a romantic way. Just for them to be together to make what's about to come make sense. They moved to stop Shura while having this newfound understanding of each other. Yeah, still, Creed saying that he would never lie because she's beautiful is kind of incelly, but we move on. It's not a reason to hate the guy. Now enter Jesse, the fucking source of all misfortune in the world. and the messiah for all the Creed haters. I don't need to explain it to you. Jesse shoots Creed because he's a pussy boy who's so scared of Elsie. Just the mere mention of her name makes him piss his diaper. Creed utters in his final moments that he loved Homura from the very first moment he saw her because she reminds him of home. Now here I would like to applaud Hiro for not making Homura cry or being dramatic about this whole thing, because that way it would have been forced on the reader. She just connected with him. She's feeling shocked more than anything. The potential friendship between her and Creed is what makes her sad, not the time she spent with him, which makes much more sense. I'm sure all of us would have been very upset, and rightfully so, if she was crying and acting like she just lost a very dear friend. However, the act of not doing this allowed this moment to have as much weight on the story as it does right now. Now we move to the final stroke of wickedness. The Eden Zero crew rather ignorantly send Creed's body in a pod to Justice's ship. I don't know if Homura didn't connect that Jesse was with Creed or what, but this had to happen. Welcoming this pod was this rat pussy boy Jesse, erasing all records of how Creed died and pinning the whole thing onto Homura, a member of the Eden Zero and the daughter of Madame Kurenai. Justice, being Justice, doesn't think about this logically and swears to avenge Creed's death. However, Victory does have his doubts about this whole thing, which may come into play in the future. With this, the storylines are interlocked and fated to cross in the future. Justice seeking vengeance for Creed's death, the Eden Zero crew trying to fight him off, and Elsie thinking that this is her fault because of Shiki's association with her. The three storylines are clashing at some point in the future, and there are only two possible places for this arc to occur. Elsie's kingdom for obvious reasons, and Oido. I still believe that this planet will come into play at some point in the story because of how Hiro purposefully chooses not to reveal anything about this planet other than it is supposed to be set in some sort of futuristic feudal Japan. It's the only major destination that the outer look of its planet has not been revealed. Either way, the future seems packed with exciting storylines. All characters in fiction serve a purpose, otherwise why include them? But not all characters get the same amount of page space. Not all get to challenge the protagonist the way your main antagonist does. Sometimes all they need to do is connect some characters together, and Creed did that and more. For that reason, Creed is not a simp, nor is he a creep. He's a character that died in the arms of the women he loves, connecting her to a hypocritical, murderous maniac who gets a hard-on whenever the word justice is uttered. I hope you guys liked this video. It was a part of a longer video exploring another character, but through my research, I decided to make a video on him as a precursor to that video. I'll let you guess who that character is. Mysterious. There will be another video coming soon before that main video though. If you liked the video, give me a sub, otherwise a dislike. This has been Moni, and I'll see you guys in the next video.